So I'm gonna stick to that. Travis, open the door and say, Jim! Where are you going off to?
I'll grab it. All right, hey, Mark, see you.
Good job.
Okay, are we ready?
It will begin monetarily. We're on the main screen.
Did you say monetarily?
Monetarily?
Momentarily.
Did they have it go up and going? Again, we apologize. This is day 2 for us with Zoom and the cameras and everything, and that's why you notice how we always we've been messing with the cameras all morning, trying to make sure we got our group here.
All right. We're good.
Okay, we're good? All right. I want to welcome everybody to, everybody was here. I know we got quite a few who were watching through the city's YouTube channel and by Zoom and everything. And again, like I said, day 2 with our new system, the Zoom and the cameras and everything. So hopefully this is working and picking us up. But again, I just want to welcome our inductees for our very first ever Kingman Veterans Treatment Court Hall of Fame class. We've got our 6th here, the 7th, Brian Whitney is appearing by Zoom from Lake Havasu, since he's, again, attorney down there, primarily stationed in Havasu, and again, appreciate the technology so everybody can be here either in person or by Zoom. Why are we having this? I guess that would be the first question, is that as we're coming upon our 5-year anniversary of our Veterans Treatment Court, again, I've been a judge close to 18 years, and she's been practicing law for 23 years now. Doesn't seem like that long, but I guess when I open the mirror, see all the gray hairs growing and growing, it really hits home. But it just came to me that, you know, this has been the most meaningful experience in my legal career, has been to oversee this Veterans Treatment Court. And so as I think back on a 5-year anniversary and where we came from to where we are now, I thought it was important to recognize the individuals who helped us get to this point. Again, I think myself and judges get way too much credit for these kind of things. And the 7 individuals who were here and being recognized and inducted into our inaugural Veterans Treatment Court Hall of Fame need to be given that proper recognition, because without each and every one of those 7 individuals, we're not here. And if you look on my graduate Hall of Fame board, yesterday we had another graduation. We graduated 3 more veterans yesterday. I had 53 names on our veterans graduation board. It's because of you all that we have those 53 graduates. Those 53 veterans, our most cherished citizens, and how we've been able, and I believe, to save many veterans' lives. And that's what it's all about. I mean, this country hasn't always done the best job recognizing and appreciating our veterans, but I believe here in the city of Kingman we do. And because of this Veterans Treatment Court, we are able to give back to these veterans. And when I look up there on that board, and I think, again, Judge Singer gets way too much credit for the success of this program, I wanted to make sure that we appreciate the individuals who most, if not all, have been there from the get-go, from day 1, when we didn't have a Veterans Treatment Court. And to get us to the point now where I believe we're a pretty successful, efficient, thorough program, and I'm very proud of this program. But again, we need to acknowledge those people who have helped us get to this point and continue to help us push forward and be as successful as we can for the veterans who we service here. Briefly, I remember I became judge here in June of 2015. I didn't know anything about veterans treatment courts. There wasn't a veterans treatment court here in Kingman. And like Havasu had. And how we started the veterans treatment court was, I heard rumblings about it and everything that Kingman had wanted to move forward and have a successful program like Havasu had. Havasu's had been operational for I think at least a year, and they have hit some success and got some good PR and done a lot of good work for the veterans in their community. I think there's work for Kingman and for the individuals who are on the city council there. They wanted to mirror that here in Kingman. So, but I didn't know much about it. I remember getting a call, and this will lead to the first time I ever met one Pat Farrell. I get a call that says, "Hey, Judge, we'd like you to come over," and I've just been on the job very briefly, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Come over to the city complex, and we're going to have a meeting over there. And I thought, okay, and I brought my court administrator at the time, and go over there. Didn't really know much about what the meeting was, but just like, well, you should probably be involved with all this and everything. So, okay. So go over there, and the only thing I can picture, and I don't want to just give Pat kind of a negative complex here, but the only thing I can think is I didn't know what I was going over for. I didn't know if I was going over for just a one-on-one meeting or what this was or what was going on. I opened the door. I don't know if y'all remember like the scene in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, when it's kind of like a surprise scene when you open the door and it's like Han Solo and Princess Leia and Chewbacca, and then at the end of the table you got Darth Vader there and the stormtroopers. And I'm not comparing Pat to Darth Vader, but I'm saying that the doors open and not only was Pat there, helping oversee this meeting, but there were a lot of people there to involved with veterans organizations and veterans groups, and I think maybe at the time, and there were other individuals there that were wanting to really push for having a veterans treatment court here. So that kind of opened my eyes that, hey, this is serious, this is something that Kingman wants, and I think Pat helped oversee the meeting, explain the need for this, the success that he had seen down in Lake Havasu, and what we could get accomplished, and of course wanted the brand new judge's input, involvement in it, and everything like that. So that was my first interaction with Pat and his wife Casey and several others in the veterans community here in Kingman about why they wanted to have this kind of program and how important it was. So we had that, and seed was planted, and I remember shortly after that we have these they're called CJCC meetings here in Kingman. Rest of you knows about those, the criminal justice meetings that we held every other month over at the county building over with the sheriff's department. And so over there, and this is I think in August. This time it's August. I've got C-Plan. It's important for the city that we have a veterans treatment court here in Kingman, and I kind of get the feeling, I want to be gainfully employed, past this first contract. Maybe I should really push forward with this veterans treatment court. So I go over there, and one of the topics on the agenda was veterans treatment courts here in Mohave County. And like Havasu had been successful there, Judge Kalali from Havasu was there and gave a presentation about what they were doing, and we're trying to figure out where other municipalities, Kingman, Bullhead City, maybe at the county level, are they going to do veterans treatment courts, things like that, had a presentation. And so again, I got in my brain, veterans treatment court, this is what we need to do in Kingman. And so we're going around, and at the point it gets to me, and I think there are other officials there for the city of Kingman. They said, well, Judge Singer's brand new, so we're going to have to just gradually get him up to speed here and everything. And so it's important for us to have veterans treatment court, but we'll see what happens. But of course, me with my bravado, and just like I've got this one, and I say, nope. I said, wrong. I said, we're going to have a veterans treatment court here in Kingman by the end of the year. And so I'm all proud about this, and talking big, and we're going to get this done and everything. I remember as soon as that meeting ended and everybody left, I was just sitting there, and I think I had my head on the table saying, what did I just agree to? Because I was like, I don't know anything about veterans treatment courts. A little bit about specialty courts, about drug courts and juvenile courts dealing with juveniles and things like that from my prior legal profession in Oklahoma, but I didn't know anything about veterans treatment courts. It's like, what in the heck did I just agree to and commit to or whatever? So then I was like on Warp Speed. I got to figure this out. I got to figure out what Havasu is doing. I got to figure out what other jurisdictions are doing. And lo and behold, by December 9th, 2015, we had our first veterans treatment court session here in Kingman. And again, I'm proud of that. And we put a lot of work into it. But again, it's because of so many of the individuals here in this room that I was able to fulfill my promise that we were going to have a veterans treatment court here in Kingman by the end of 2015. And so, with the help of everybody here, as well as the assistance with our friends down in Lake Havasu Municipal Court, we're able to do that. And we started out with 2 veterans in the program. At times now, we've had in excess of 30 veterans in the program at one time. Again, we graduated 53, and we're just booking along. I think we're doing some good. I believe in my heart, and I believe this will continue to be the most meaningful thing I've ever done in my legal career. And again, it's because of you individuals as to why we were able to do that. And it's such a wide range, wide areas of where you come from, your backgrounds, your professions, and everything. And it's just amazing, incredible how we can all come together. And because we're all coming together, working as one team, we're able to do this and for the benefit of our local veterans. So again, I just want to thank you and recognize you. You all are our Hall of Fame members. I mean, at some point, I think it's my duty and my responsibility to acknowledge what you all do, each and every one of you, and to let you know it's not forgotten and it's not appreciated, because it really is. And come to a graduation, I mean, and then you'll see, because there's not too many of these graduates that come up here who are almost in tears about how this program has saved their lives, how it's changed their lives, what it's done. And again, in my opinion, and I think that if you want to go hard numbers and everything, it's recidivism. That's when you look at specialty courts, drug courts, veterans courts, juvenile courts, whatever we're at, is how many of your graduates are out there reoffending and committing new offenses? How many of them haven't changed their lives? And our recidivism rate is so incredibly low. We've had 53 graduates here, and I think our recidivism rate, again, I'm a lawyer, not a mathematician, but we've had, it would be debate, 1 to 2 graduates who have reoffended. So, in my opinion, you should only be 1, because the other one had their case resolved or whatever. So, but worst case scenario, if you want to worst case scenario, maybe 2 out of 53. I mean, that's phenomenal for these kind of programs. So that's where I think if you want to just look at why we have veterans treatment courts, that's why we want our veterans to be productive members of the society. We don't want them getting back involved in the criminal justice system. And there you go. And it's all because of you people who have worked so hard, gone the extra mile to make this program a success. So I think we'll go ahead and if you're wondering why you're all spread out like this, and you had ID, name tag, everything like that. Again, we're messing with the cameras. We want to make sure we got it all on here. So I think we're doing good, and the technologies are going and everything like that. So we're happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and start with honoring our the 7 people that we decided to be in our inaugural Hall of Fame class, and we're just going to do it alphabetically. And so the first person we're going to call up here is Jim Consolado. I want to say just a few words about Jim. Jim is also, we're very fortunate, not only is he now a Kingman Veterans Treatment Court Hall of Fame member, he's one of 2 involved in our program who are Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame members. He was inducted last year into the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame. Pat also is in the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame. So this may not be on the same level as that one, but we're going to try to make it be. But Jim is getting this work because of mentoring. Jim was one of our initial mentors in our first mentoring class that we started at the beginning of 2016. The mentors are volunteers, they're fellow veterans who give their time. We call them the allies, we call them the battle buddies of the Veterans Treatment Court. Every time a participant comes to court, they typically have their mentor with them and to support them, to be there with them in court, to be, go have a cup of coffee with them, to be somebody to lean on, to be a resource. And Jim not only was one of our initial mentors, but then shortly thereafter, he took over as our mentor coordinator, and now he has the title of senior mentor coordinator, because we have more than one mentor coordinator now. And in that role, he has helped expand our mentor corps. I think we have in excess of 40 mentors in different capacities within the mentor corps, recruiting and helping train them. And again, they give their time, they volunteer their time for the good of their fellow veterans. And because of Jim, again, let me explain. When a veteran first comes into this program, a lot of times they're skeptical. Why do I have to keep coming back to court over and over? Other defendants don't have to do that. Why do I have to do this community service hours? Why do I have to do all these requirements, things like that? We know at the end of the day that if they come to a graduation, we know from beginning to end how it's life-changing and all the things they have to do, but they don't always see that at the get-go. So it's so important to me to at least have the mentors there at the beginning, because it helps, encourage them. Let's stay in this. We know we get to be successful, things like that. Because we would not have the numbers we had without our mentor corps and without the strong leadership of our mentor coordinators. And so Jim has really taken the bull by the horns with our mentor corps. We were kind of struggling with it at the get-go, and he's had so many creative ideas, initiatives, and recruiting efforts. He and I have been in different places trying to talk and speak about Veterans Treatment Corps and recruiting veterans, and I think we've been pretty successful doing that. And again, I'm proud not only to have Jim as our senior mentor coordinator, but I'm proud to call him my friend. And at this time, Jim, again, we're presenting you to our inaugural Hall of Fame for on behalf of mentoring. We're so grateful for everything that you have done to make our Veterans Treatment Corps a success. You're involved with all the staffing, you're involved with mentor luncheons, we do mentor trainings, we do all of these extra things that I'm sure you wish. There are times maybe you wish you could just be spending your retirement years out in Golden Valley, enjoying the pool, enjoying things and everything, but no, you sacrifice just like so many of our veterans do. You're sacrificing in this role, and because of that, you are helping us save lives. So I appreciate it. Just want to congratulate you for being honored for mentoring here.
Oh, awesome.
So, Mike. Am I smiling?
Yeah. So, I'm going to take an opportunity here. This wasn't in your plan, but it's in my plan. So, I have something to read that I wrote this morning because it was on my heart. And this is what it is. Without a doubt, volunteering with the Kingman Veterans Treatment Court has been an honor and a privilege for me from the very first day, almost 5 years ago. Last year, it was the biggest honor of my life to be included in the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame. Now, this year, I am blessed with another great honor to be inducted into the Kingman Veterans Treatment Court Hall of Fame. And may I say, alongside a list of stellar, accomplished, and awesome people from the community, I'm humbled to be on the list with all of you. Unquestionably, 2020 has been a very unique year, a maelstrom of illness, chaos, shock, confusion, marked by upheaval in politics, economics, and health and safety concerns. It seems as if the world has been turned upside down, and as we all witness life being reduced to bare essentials, both in the way we live and the way we often feel. I just wanted to take a moment to recognize and express my sincere thanks and appreciation to Kingman Magistrate Judge Jeff Singer for keeping the Kingman Treatment Court alive. Although many people might not see this court as essential, Judge Singer's patriotic passion for veterans is not only inspiring, but a remarkable accomplishment. Though I have nothing to give but love and appreciation for Judge Singer, and everything he has done for veterans, I can assure everyone, I can assure you, Judge Singer, you will forever live in the Hall of Fame of my heart and in the hearts of my fellow veterans. God bless you, Judge Singer.
Thank you, Jim. All right. I expect everybody's speeches to match Jim's there. So, Rusty, you're up next. Good luck. we want to recognize now Kingman Police Chief Rusty Cooper in the area of law enforcement. When Rusty first became a part of my Veterans Treatment Court team, he was the deputy police chief at the time, and has been with the team from the get-go. We don't have too many members who were originally on the team from 2015 to now, but Rusty has been. And people may think, well, what exactly would law enforcement's involvement be in this kind of program, other than bringing us clients? Because obviously law enforcement is all doing their job. We don't really have a Veterans Treatment Court. So, and you may think, well, geez, wouldn't their position potentially be adversarial to what we're trying to get done? And from the get-go, it started with under Bob DeVries' leadership, has continued now as Rusty's now our police chief. Through his leadership, it has been, he's got it, and it's been the support of the Veterans Treatment Court. Just because they went out and arrested particular individuals, just happen to be veterans, and they come in the program, Rusty and the rest of the Kingman Police Department has been so supportive of, yes, let's rehabilitate these veterans, let's get them back on the streets. Yeah, if that's the incentive we need to give them, their cases end up being dismissed if they complete this Veterans Treatment Court. I'm all for it. Let's rehabilitated, because you may not always see that with law enforcement. It may just be like hammering on classroom, things like that. That's not the attitude of Chief Cooper, and that's never been the attitude really of the Kingman Police Department. They have been so involved with graduations. When we weren't having to deal with COVID restrictions, we would have color guards here. It would be the Kingman Police Department that would supply the color guard and come here, the flags, and typically I think the officers were veterans themselves and get dressed up in their the fancy uniforms and come here and take time out of their day to do all this to commemorate the graduates who were finishing up the Veterans Treatment Court program. And it always meant a lot that they would be a part of our color guard for this. And it goes along beyond that with Rusty and KPD. When Rusty can't be here, he typically sends one of the other officers who are familiar with this kind of program to be involved with our staffing, to be involved with our court proceedings, to let the veterans know that, hey, just because at one time we might have been adversarial from police officer to /defendant, we can work as a team here. And and the support, it just symbolizes the support that law enforcement here in this community and KPD particularly has for our veterans in this community, to give them another chance. Let's get them out there. Let's make them productive members of society. Let's see what we can do to help them out. And again, I always appreciate that. I appreciate your support. Again, this is a team effort. We're dealing with all kinds of different groups here that need to come together to make this program work. And law enforcement is one of those groups. And I appreciate it. I know the veterans appreciate it. And true, from the front end, without y'all's hard work out there on the streets, I wouldn't have the clients to help service. But when it comes to their treatment and their success and making productive members of society, I just appreciate your success all the way around. And you've been here since day one with us, and even after you've been promoted to police chief, you still haven't given up on us. I know you got a lot more responsibilities and irons in the fire and things like that, but I appreciate your continued support of the Veterans Treatment Court. So I just want to present you with that. All right.
Now, I won't read what Jim did, because I would say ditto.
There you go.
But it's truly just been an honor to be part of what you and your team and your staff do, because you're the heartbeat, the passion, and the drive behind it keeps it going. So just whatever my small part is, it's been an honor. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Pat Farrell.
My social media person would like us to face the same direction, so it's just going on
Okay.
Facebook, I understand.
Okay. Okay, we're facing this way. Okay, all right.
Sorry, everybody. I love y'all, okay?
Okay, that's fair. Pat, like I said, I alluded to at the beginning about Pat's involvement. Without Pat, I don't think that we're ever, encouraged to have a Veterans Treatment Court here in Kingman. Pat, as everybody knows, he does so much for the veterans with the JVC, what's going on across the street, Arnold Plaza, to try to do everything he can to he sacrifices his time, effort, energy, resources, whatever it takes for veterans. And I think he knew early on, after hearing about the success with what was going on in Lake Havasu, it was important to have this kind of program here in Kingman. And because of that, then it was early on, especially when we were trying to figure out our resources and needs, because a lot of these veterans came in and we didn't know how to, take care of some of the unique needs they had. I always thought there was going to be like cookie cutter veterans. Okay, each veteran would need X, Y, Z. It's not like that. Everybody comes in from different areas and different backgrounds and different needs. And because of that, we wouldn't have been able to succeed, especially from the get-go, without Pat and Casey and the JABC being behind us, helping, okay, no, we can get these resources for that veteran so they can be success, whether it be with housing, utility bills, or you got to the point where like eyeglasses or whatever they needed. It was like, no, Pat and JABC, we find it. And Pat has been, court appearances, and there would be a veteran would come up, and there's one question I always ask a veteran when they're up here before me. It's about the last question I ask them after we go through their case and what's going on with them is, what can I do for you? What do you need? What can I do for you? And sometimes I get some creative answers, sometimes things that I can't really get for them, but sometimes they be things that were realistic, and then I would just sit there and I'd have to think, and I'd maybe shaking my head and everything, and then I would see a hand go up in the back of the courtroom, and it would be Pat saying, I'll take care of it. I'll make sure it's done. And whether it be, washing machines or automobiles or whatever the case may be, it's to help that veteran succeed. And Pat, because of you, we have been able to be a success here from the get-go. You made obviously a lasting impression on me from our meeting when I first became judge about how important this kind of program was. And you've seen it firsthand and you wanted it in Kingman. And I just hope that I have fulfilled your expectations, because I know you're a big proponent of pushing this kind of program. So I just hope that I come near the expectations that you want. But again, at this time, I just don't think if you're going to be in Kingman, Arizona, and you're going to be recognizing people for helping veterans, if Pat Farrell isn't on the top of the list, you might as well not be having a ceremony. So that's what I believe. So at this time, Pat, on behalf of the community, I want to present you with this award here and inducting you into our Kingman Veterans Treatment Court Hall of Fame.
Actually, we have a few words. This court is tougher on veterans than just going through a regular court. When the veteran stands up here and you look back there where everybody's sitting right now, those seats are usually full of people that are here to help. And that's because he organized this and got it running, and we work together. It takes a village to do what we do. My name is on this plaque, but this plaque belongs to all our members, all our support. We have over 50 organizations and groups that we work with, and all our volunteers, okay? And this is what's making a difference in the community. It's not me, okay? It's everybody, and it does take a village. And I want to thank you again for the honor.
Thank you. Mayor Miles. To begin with, as I'm thinking about this, as people have progressed through the ranks here in the city of Kingman, when I became judge in 2015, Mayor Miles she was a council member at the time. She's the only one left on the council from when I became, when they decided, rightfully or wrongfully, to make me the new city magistrate back in 2015. And so, like I said at the beginning here, it was important to the city council at the time. They saw the success that was going on in Lake Havasu for Kingman to have a veterans treatment court. And it's because of their support, their funding, their continued push to help veterans here in this community, that I think they saw this is one way very directly that we can help assist our veterans here in the city of Kingman. And since she has become mayor, she's taken the initiative to lead us. We have a veterans resource team. Because of COVID and everything, we haven't been really able to we have a luncheon and meetings once a month. We haven't been able to have those for the last several months, so we're hoping to get back to it here pretty quick. but one of sort of our goal or our mission, we want to have like a mission with our Veterans Resource Team. The Veterans Resource Team is bringing different members of the community who want to help different veterans organizations throughout the city and throughout the community, and not necessarily just for the veterans in my program, although it does help assist the veterans in the program, but the VRT helps all veterans. But before we had the VRT, it was like, well, this organization might be doing this for veterans, this other organization might be doing something else for veterans, but there was no really collaboration. So because we have this Veterans Resource Team meeting that we have here at the courthouse, we're able to sort of unify resources, and I think it's been wonderful. And again, it was an idea that we won't go borrow from Lake Havasu, we stole whatever, but again, you use good ideas. We got that idea from Lake Havasu. It's been very successful for them, it's been very successful for us. One of the initiatives that Mayor Miles has really pushed us forward, everything that it's kind of our homework assignment, it's kind of our goal with VRT. I think every VRT needs goals, is the Mayor's Challenge to End Veterans Homelessness. And she has been very instrumental in that, in helping us stay focused as our goal in the VRT. We do a lot of things in the VRT, but we do have our primary goal right now, and that is to end veterans homelessness. And that's what it's called, it's the Mayor's Challenge to End Veterans Homelessness. And because of her leadership, I think we're a heck of a lot closer in Kingman than we were before she came on board. And so it's a big push in Kingman. You know, we have the village that's going up over off the Walpine Mountain Road. There's other resources and things that are being put together here to end veterans homelessness. And it's because of this Mayor's Challenge that she spearheads and she keeps us focused on and tasked on as to why I think we're going to be in great shape, and we continue to be a lot better than when we first started. And if you think about it, that's what leads to a lot of people coming into the criminal justice system, is because they're homeless, they don't have a car, things like that. If they have a home, a lot of times they wouldn't be in the criminal justice system. So if we're getting it from the front end and dealing with those issues from the front end, then maybe they won't have to come through the criminal justice system and be in the situation that they get into with violations of the law. So I appreciate the proactive initiative of the Mayor's Challenge, and I'm not saying we can complete the Mayor's Challenge, but because of your leadership and your drive and its focus to end homelessness amongst our veterans here in this community, I think we're getting a lot closer. I think we're doing a heck of a job. We're doing a lot better than what we did before. So we're so grateful. And again, we're presenting this award and inducting Mayor Miles into the Kingman Veterans Hall of Fame under leadership, because it's because of her leadership through the VRT and the Mayor's Challenge to End Veterans Homelessness, as well as just to continue to encourage and support the Veterans Treatment Court on behalf of the Mayor and the City Council, why we're able to have the kind of success that we have. So I just want to present this to you, Mayor, and thank you.
Well, I have just a few words.
Okay, yes.
First of all, I do share this with the council, the existing council, and those before, who have advocated for this treatment court. But never that, I mean, it was only in our dreams that we could find a judge such as yourself that would have such passion and championship capacity to put together a team, not only in the courts, but throughout our whole community of people that can bring their passion for helping veterans to this court and to really result in changing lives for so many, especially those that are represented here, but not just the ones that are on the boards here. And so it's a great honor, and I'm very humbled by this, but I do share it. And I want to thank those that are the inductees with me, because it really has taken everyone's love and care and compassion to be as effective working with our veterans as this court truly is. So I thank you, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank all veterans, as we all do, virtually every meeting. We thank all the veterans who have sacrificed and served our country. And I'm just so thankful that we have a court like this, so that for those that are off the path for whatever reason, there is so much support to help guide and put them right back into the life that really is a positive and beautiful reflection of who they are. So thank you very much.
Alexis Stewart. Alexis is here. Alexis is also one of the initial team members that came on the team that have been with us from the get-go. Alexis now oversees the vet center, I believe, throughout the county here. Initially, it was just the vet center here in Kingman, but now she's the director of all the vet centers here in Mojave County, between us and the Galveston and Bullhead. So she's spread pretty thin. And Louisville, the vet center primarily treats combat veterans and is a very needed resource, and has kind of had a nomadic life, kind of trying to figure out, office to office, and kind of been spread around. But regardless, because resources become thin, and trying to figure out where they're going to be positioned. Initially, it was Kingman, then it was South Dakota Valley, then back to Kingman, and so we've kind of been all over the place. But regardless, no matter that, Alexis never complained. Alexis, she might have wanted a little more stability, but she never wavered on the dedication of helping our veterans. She knew how important it was to help out the veterans, and primarily those with, combat veterans, but those with PTSD or MST or and having different issues. And we leaned on the vet center so much because that's where many of our veterans would get treatment, and the treatment court would continue to do so. And it's nice that they can do that, and they're not charged for that treatment, and they get very effective treatment. And I don't know how many veterans who, when they come up for graduation and they say, okay, what's been the best part of Veterans Treatment Court, the most meaningful part and everything? And it's been, the connections with my therapist and my counselor, and I'm going to continue that even after I move on through beyond the Veterans Treatment Court. And so what she has done for this community has been monumental, because I can have a Veterans Treatment Court, I can say, you do this, you do that, and everything. But the reality is, if they're not getting treatment for the issues that brought them there, whether it be substance abuse or management or domestic violence or PTSD or whatever issues you got going on, what's the point? What's the point of having a program? Because we're not seriously addressing the issues and getting down to the nitty-gritty about why they came in the first place. And because of Alexis and her leadership and her amazing job as a therapist and counselor, and now overseeing the Veterans Treatment or the vet centers here in the county, we'd really be missing the mark. So I am so appreciative, so grateful, and not only that, she's my neighbor, so that's good. So as long as I'm being a good neighbor to you, I'll make sure I'm doing the right things. Bring my trash can back in at times, and making sure I get my yard picked up and everything. But again, just so very grateful. And so we want to recognize Alexis on behalf of treatment for everything that they do, because again, this is a Veterans Treatment Court. Without that little word, what's the point of all this? So really, because if they're not getting the treatment they need, we might as well not have a program. So I just want to thank Alexis and recognize her. So
thank you. I just wanted to say this is such an honor, and one of the most important things I think for all of us that's so rewarding is the fact that the veterans come back to us afterwards and thank us and tell us how well they're doing and how successful they are. And I just think that's the most amazing part of this program. So I want to thank everybody for their participation.
Joe Throneberry. For those who don't know, Joe wears many hats in this program. He wears many hats in the community. Joe's everything. I mean, when it comes to veterans, Joe started out as he started coming out to our VRT luncheons and everything, and just because of his connections and his employment and everything, we found him to be very effective, very efficient, very resourceful, in making sure that, hey, if a veteran needed this, whether it be housing, whether it be a cell phone, whether it be whatever they needed, it seemed like this guy who was always sitting in the front row, and I purposely put you in that chair because I think they're always in that chair at the luncheons and everything. I would make you comfortable, Joe. And be like, I can take care of that. We can do that. We can do this. This. It would be like, at times I thought I wanted to try to throw curveballs at him, like, well, geez, what if a veteran needs this and this and this? And he always had the answer. It's like, no, this is what we can do. This is what we do. And again, he's gone from that. And then I told Jim, I said, this guy needs to be one of our mentors because he's so connected. We utilize our mentors as a resource. And Joe became a mentor. And then shortly after that, I was like, I don't think we're utilizing Joe enough. So eventually he became our mentor coordinator. We made Jim the senior mentor coordinator. And so because Joe has all the connections, Joe knows all the resources. Joe cares so much about his fellow veterans. Joe is a veteran himself, and he cares so much about each and every veteran, whether the ones in the program, if they're not in the program. You just don't realize how he goes above and beyond. I mean, whether it be driving hundreds of miles to help out a veteran, finding this, finding that. It's like it's nonstop with Joe, and with him, it's always, I think that's kind of the theory and the idea behind the military. There's a mission, we're gonna get it done, no matter what. There may be obstacles, and there may be pitfalls, and there may be landmines, but we're gonna get that mission done. And that's what Joe does. I mean, I put Joe on a bunch of missions, and some I thought, well, geez, I don't know if he's gonna come back on this one, I don't know if he's gonna be able to get this done, and always does. And it's amazing to me. I've told you both of this before. I mean, because he's made my job so much easier, and being able to lean on him and utilize him for resources. I don't know how I have Veterans Treatment Corp without Joe Thornberry, to be honest with you, at this point, because he has been so instrumental in helping the veterans in my program, and not only just the program, I help the veterans all throughout the community, but specifically the ones in this program, that if they have needs, because a lot of times they're saying, well, I can get through this, I can do this, but these are the things I need, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, and to help them overcome those hurdles so that they can be successful, not in this program, but beyond that, and life itself is, we're just so eternally grateful to you, Joe. And again, like we say, you wear many hats, you're a mentor coordinator, but you still, if there's a bigger mentor that we know really needs that Joe Thornberry treatment, Joe steps in there and does that. Again, sometimes I wonder what would we do without Joe Thornberry, and I never want to see that day. So, Joe, we are just so grateful for everything that you do on behalf of the veterans of this program. Thank you. We had vet work yesterday, and I don't know how many times. I mean, I probably go a chiropractor for my neck because I'm sitting up there at the bench and looking. Okay, the veterans, I need this. I'm not looking over there, right? Look at Joe sitting in the jury box, and okay. And so, Joe, just thank you for making my job so much easier. Thank you for all that you've done for the Veterans Treatment Corps, from initially just being a part of the VRT to being a mentor to being a mentor coordinator now, helping Jim as we've grown and everything, and all you do for getting these resources for the veterans. So again, on behalf of the Veterans Treatment Corps and for the category of resources, we want to induct you into our Kingman Veterans Treatment Corps Hall of Fame today. Thanks.
Well, if anybody knows me, I don't know anything to say. First of all, I want to thank the judge for his leadership, because without his leadership, this wouldn't be a successful program. But I know the judge isn't really the boss; it's the staff behind me. So I want to thank the staff, the right person, Michelle, and they've gone before to get us to this point. I also want to recognize Mayor Miles, Pat Farrell, Chief Cooper, and Jim Consolado, because they are my mentors, and they have brought me to where I am today. My grandfather died when I was very young, but one thing he passed along to me was that 90% of knowledge is knowing where to find the answer. And that's still true today.
something I learned early on from Mayor Miles, if we get the right people in the room at the same time, we can accomplish anything. So, just like Pat said, my name is on this plaque, but it's really the 50 community-based organizations, our core partners, the police department, the jail. There's so many people that allow me to reach out and say, I need help. So the most unique thing we've done, I think, is a bicycle chain, a couple 100 miles, but it changed somebody's life. So thank you for the privilege to serve with the Veterans Treatment Court, and thank everybody that's in this room, because together we're making this happen.
Yeah, before we further, again, want to recognize and make a point to the staff before to the staff now, to make today work and everything. And we were really trying to fine tune things and work the bugs out. But again, from Michelle Maya, our court administrator, to Alexis Tim here, who's running the Zoom for us and everything, because if I was up there running it, I don't know what we'd be seeing. So Alexis does a phenomenal job as our program coordinator. She's the second program coordinator we had. Jamie McKinney was the first one. She did a great job in a couple of years. She did it. Alexis started out with us as a court clerk and has progressed up to being our program coordinator, and she has done a phenomenal job making my life easier. And again, like I say, yeah, I get the credit, I get the all this, but the reality is, Alexis is the one who's kind of in the center. You kind of think of it as a fire, everybody else are all these spokes, individuals here or whatever. And Alexis is the center that makes the fire go. And even I'm up there, I'm one of the spokes too. But if we didn't have Alexis, in which as our program coordinator, again, we're very inefficient, where we just don't function the way we do. So again, thank you to Alexis. She's done a tremendous job from when she's moved up from being the court clerk to being our program coordinator, and I know we're all very grateful for her efforts. So, lastly, I think are we going to get Brian on there? I see Brian. Brian is waiting. Okay, again, our technology. So.
I'm here, Judge.
Okay, there we go. You're muted, and there's a lot of times I like when you're muted. I wish I could do that, like sometimes before or whatever, I just mute you. But yeah, no, now we can hear you. So, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, sir. Everything's running perfect.
Okay, all right. Come on, that's fine. All right. Well, last but not least, we have Brian Whitney with the Whitney and Boulder Jackson law firm. He's appearing with us again. He's primarily down in Lake Havasu. But what wanted to recognize Brian as well and induct him for all thing. Brian has been instrumental on behalf of the Defense Council, not only helping with the Lake Havasu Veterans Treatment Court get up and running. He was one of their initial team members there, but then with Kingman as well. And what was very important to us was, of the team and the people that were coming on board in my new team when I started in 2015, Brian was the only one that had really experienced being a part of another Veterans Treatment Court team. And so we really leaned on him and leaned on his expertise, his knowledge, what he had gone through with Lake Havasu to be able to get us up and running. And again, we've just been very, very grateful for that. Brian and his firm have the industry contract here for the Kingman Municipal Court, and they represent the indigent defendants, and they probably represent majority, most, not all, but most of the veterans in the Veterans Treatment Court. And the thing is with Brian and the role he's assuming, I mean, I used to be a defense attorney myself, so it's a unique role you get to come into when you're a part of a team like this in the Veterans Treatment Court, because of course, you're always representing your client, always looking out for their best interest, but sometimes, maybe what is in their best interest, maybe, and what they're advocating for, you sort of have to look big picture. And I think Brian and his lawyers do a phenomenal job of that, of working with the prosecutors, working with the team, and saying, hey, what are we gonna do? What's in the best interest of this veteran to make him successful? So I don't have to represent him again after he gets done with this program. So, again, I just appreciate Brian because from the get-go, from when we started this in 2015, again, I made these big promises. I'm gonna start the Veterans Treatment Court, and we did have some help from our sister court down in Lake Havasu with Judge Palawi and their team and everything. But really, having somebody like Brian and his attorneys be a part of both programs, be a part of both courts, and to help us get it off the ground. Hey, you need to see this, you need to see that. And a lot of times it wasn't just, sometimes it's, you get, I mean, defense attorneys can, fight for our clients, and that's what they do, and they do a phenomenal job representing their clients, whether they're in the Veterans Treatment Court or not. But it's also seeing things big picture and trying to do what's best for the program. Brian has sacrificed so much of his time and resources. He goes to the Veterans Treatment Court conferences that we have throughout the country. I mean, Brian has sacrificed so much to be a part of this. He could have said, when he was a part of this contract, initially he said, no, that's not part of my contract. It wasn't to be a part of a treatment court or anything like that. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm just going to represent the people I'm pointing to or anything like that. It was the exact opposite. It was like, this is what we're doing right now. So let me see what I can help and my lawyers can help out with you and Kingman to get your program up and going. And you've done that, and for these past close to 5 years here, given not only excellent representation to the veterans who are in the program, but also, attend our meetings, serve as a resource, just have always been there and gone the extra mile to help out these veterans. I mean, we are so fortunate to have you. I'm grateful that you've been with us from the get-go, because there are a lot of issues that you all saw firsthand, and sometimes it's nice to be able to say, okay, well, Havasu had a program going for about a year and a half, and when you start something like this, there's going to be successes, there's going to be pitfalls, there's going to be things you don't see, and then Brian and his team could tell us, hey, this is what was going on here. We've seen this. You might want to do this, or you might not want to do that, and things like that. And it's always been there for us and supported our program, whether it be attending our hikes and picnics, whether it been just coming late hours to make sure that the veterans take care of it. We have unique cases going on, whatever the situation or case may be. Always gone the extra mile, always been supportive of the program, always for the benefit of their clients and for the veterans, because I believe deep down, they've always known what this program can do, starting out in Havasu and now in Kingman. So again, Brian, we're going to send this down to you. Alexis, she lives in Lake Havasu, so we're going to send your plaque down to you. But again, on behalf of legal, that you are inductee into the Kingman Veterans Treatment Court Hall of Fame, presented to Brian Whitney. Again, it's kind of on behalf of your whole firm, but you're the face of the firm. You're the one who has just been there from the get-go, has been so incredibly supportive. Again, because we have to have defense counsel buy into this. And if I didn't have to buy into this, when we were talking about this in 2015, then we can't do this. So again, Brian, I want to just thank you and thank your staff and your team.
Well, thank you, Judge Singer. I hope you folks there can hear me okay. I really appreciate your kind words. I appreciate all the efforts of all the other inductees today and everything that they've contributed to the program. Certainly, we wouldn't be in a position to do the things that we're doing without that same buy-in from our other attorneys and staff members, and they're really the ones that make everything happen for the veterans that are assigned to us from the Kingman Treatment Court. And so people like Jacob Baldridge and Brock Wicklund and Sarah Crumweedy with my office have been instrumental in making sure that we're able to provide the services that we need to the veterans and make sure that they understand the process and are able to engage in a meaningful way. And so again, thank you to everybody that's part of this Veterans Treatment Court team, Alexis, you, Judge Singer, also people like Megan Verhalen make this a very easy process to engage in, because she's been fantastic to work with. Both myself and the other attorneys within the office have had nothing but praise for her, and she has just had such a great attitude where it's amazing to work with a prosecutor who shares your goals of helping these folks that have found themselves in the criminal justice system. I'll end by just sharing with everybody, this is the first time in 15 years of being a practicing attorney where you get to actually see amazing things happening for the folks that you're representing, and some of those, ideological and idealistic ideas that you have when you go to law school about what it will be like to be a lawyer are really kind of crushed as soon as you start practicing law. And this is the first experience that I've had where those ideas that you had and maybe those motivations for becoming an attorney in the first place, the idea that you'll get to help people, finally have come to fruition. And so I really appreciate being a part of this program and having the opportunity that it's given us to help veterans and members of the community. And thank you for this honor today, Judge Singer. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for being here today and being a part of this ceremony. And just again, I can't thank you all enough, and I believe for each and every one of you, it's honor to serve. So thank you all, and you have a good rest of your day and weekend. So thank you. Good here.